Episode 3,
Get
Time
out.
to Fly, Ahsoka. We're going to spoil it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies, baby. Oh, man.
The Cup. Mrs. Manrique said the best character of this episode was the Cup. I love the Cup's Ellie player.
I agree.
Oh, the Cup. The Rebels moments. I don't know why I'm talking.
No, you're good.
Finally, we can talk spoilers.
I know.
Yeah, do it.
Spoil
it.
everything.
Everything.
Just
like
drop it
as
all.
you wish, Marok.
Blow our
I know.
minds.
Let's go.
As you wish.
And then we got to hear him talk for the first time with this heavily distorted
Okay, so who do you
voice.
Dude,
Who do you think the voice is?
I think it's Sam.
You think it's
Whit.
Whitworth?
I was looking in the credits to see if it actually.
It's still
credited
there.
He's still there.
It's still there.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sam Whitworth.
Oh, I
Still
didn't see it.
additional voices.
Yeah. I didn't
They
see
said
it.
featuring Paul Darnell.
Paul Darnell. Yeah.
But the extra voices still.
Yeah.
And I saw, I should have remembered that YouTube video I watched to give him credit. But there's a guy out there I watched a video on, and he said that it sounded like the Sith Stalker version of
Yeah.
Lord Starkiller, because his voice is also
I never played that
very
one.
heavily augmented like that.
Yeah.
And it's similar style. It's almost the same. I feel like in that one though, you can hear more of Sam Witwer's voice coming through, and instead of this one, you really couldn't. It was hard to tell in this
Yeah.
one who it was.
But he talked, and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
He speaks."
I know.
But that's funny how he made a Princess Bride.
Yeah, I know. That was,
That was
hilarious.
so good.
I almost
I'm like,
wonder if that
"Aw,
is Sammy
they love
Witt.
each other.
Sammy Witt. Iñaki said earlier, technically the first person to say "as you wish" in Star Wars was Darth Vader in episode
Oh,
4.
you're
I think he
right.
said
Yeah.
episode 4.
He
So,
loved-
Yeah, he loved.
but
Grand
even
Moff
more
Tarkin.
of a reason for him to be Vader's apprentice.
Right.
He sounds like Vader.
He
He
said
has
the
a
same
mask.
line
He
as Vader.
He says
like
the same.
Vader.
He smells like Vader. He uses a red
burnt
saber
toast.
like Vado.
Vado.
He
Vado?
flies a ship like Vader. I mean, we
Vades?
didn't know he could fly a ship.
He's a good pilot. Like
Is
Vader.
Starkiller a good pilot?
Yeah, he's a good pilot.
Is
I
he?
mean, not necessarily, because
Oh.
really, he had a
He
pilot.
really crash lands everything.
He did crash land a lot. But
Ezra can fly.
Ezra can fly. They fly now?
They fly now. Ahsoka soars.
Yeah, I feel like since we're jumping right into Morocco,
Well, we just jumped. We skipped around, but
I do feel like more than ever it's going to be at least somebody significant at this
Yeah.
point. They're modulating his voice for
Yeah.
a reason. And that reason I think is going to be significant, and I just can't wait until they show us who that is, especially for how much speculation we have.
It's gonna be.
It's got to be somebody.
White-
Like, don't just make it a nobody at this point. I
gonna be
mean,
a-
it's fine if you do, but please make it
Is it
somebody.
fine?
It's not fine for me. I'm gonna cry. No,
pasty
I'm just joking.
Sam Witwer.
White pasty Sam Witt, Sammy Witt.
With red
Sammy
eyes.
Witt.
Some people are still saying Kanan out there, like like a
Kanan?
revived
No.
Kanan.
Right.
I
Well,
don't
he
see
doesn't. And they said in our comments because there's no eye like things. It's just like slits.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like
Slot.
the guy's
There's an eye slot.
is there though.
There is.
The weird thing is that the helmet style reminds me of Ezra's helmet that he wears.
Yeah.
He wears the scout helmet, the scout trooper helmet a lot, and it does that same. It's got the same hinge right there that pops up, and that's what made me originally think it was Ezra in a lot of ways. Was really just that small detail. There's a lot of reasons, plot reasons. I think it'd be interesting.
Was
It's
it
plot armor.
interesting that Sabine's
Get out of
training visor looked kind of like his helmet too?
Yeah,
Did that mean anything?
I don't know.
Or was that a complete?
I thought
I
it
didn't
looked
quite-
more like a fencing helmet.
yeah,
It
that
was
too.
a cross
But
between a fencing helmet and like the temple guard
Yeah.
helmet.
Okay.
Kind of reminded me of that in
Yeah.
some ways.
Yes, I know that.
Yes, I know that. I know that. Yeah, but
we
I
like
that he
we like
talked.
Marok. We like the fact that he's like mysterious
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's a good pilot. Maybe not as good as Shin. Shin was leading the way.
she was.
So he's kind of like, if he's really good, why is he kind of like second bananas? That's the only question.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the interesting.
You know, he's
thing.
behind Balin. Like he's kind of just, even the scene with Balin and the three, he's kind of just kind of standing around. Like she's like, he tells Shin to go take care of Sabine. And now he's got Merrick. He's like, you follow behind Shin.
What is Balin doing this whole time?
He's just standing there with his troops, waiting for them to arrive.
menacingly.
I'm just gonna stand here menacing.
Did they know that they were going to track them? Why else would they be
But he was kind of
perfectly?
sensing it in the Force, I feel like.
But Shin and them were just happened to be flying around that moment.
That
like,
was
Well,
a minor
guarding-
gripe, in my opinion.
they didn't tell them to get to their ships and go get them. They were
I think
there
they
already.
were just guarding the area.
Because they knew. They knew. she was
Balin
coming.
said
Yeah.
that she was coming. So they did know that they were going to
Yeah.
show up.
Did she?
said she was faint in the Force, or that was
Yeah.
Yeah, but her
Okay.
persistence
Yes.
was what's
noted or something.
yeah, strong or whatever.
Interesting.
But the weirdest thing for me about that, though, little minor gripe, was even Hu Yang said right when they jumped out of hyperspace, she's like, why do we jump? Why are we coming so far away
Yeah.
from the planet?
Right.
And she's like, to not be, detected, standard Jedi
Standard
protocol.
Jedi protocol.
And then they're immediately behind them. I was
Yeah.
like, seriously, of all places you were like just patrolling, you knew? I
they
mean,
knew the Jedi protocol.
They must. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I
But
think they were
maybe.
just patrolling.
it was convenient, or they
suddenly
knew they were
found
going to
them.
show up there. I mean, who knows? In the Force, maybe Balin
Yeah.
knew, and even Shin, she could sense that, or even Marok. I think Marok. The thing with Marok, though, real fast, and then sorry, Nick, I'll jump over to you. I think part of that theory that's strong with him is I think he's brainwashed. I think whoever it is he's brainwashed potentially, because I think that's why he's playing second fiddle or third fiddle to these characters.
Just
because
waiting
he's
for them to
not
tell
in
him
his
what to
right
do.
mind.
Yeah.
Like he's
Okay.
just being controlled in some ways by Morgan Elsbeth / Balin and Shin. That's my theory on that, though, as well. Nick, what you had something to say? I'm sorry. I cut you
I
off.
was just gonna go to the dog fight that they had
Yeah,
and how nothing was really accomplished except Sabine killed 3 of them or 4 of them.
4 of them. Yeah,
Yeah, it was like they were shooting it and they had all the deflector shields up, and it's like, okay, yeah, that works. But like every scene was like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
how much power does this deflector shield have?
Yeah.
Like this thing's getting
Yeah.
lit up. There's no way it's still holding up. It was just kind of goofy.
yeah. Like their
Yeah.
shields took a beating and
Yeah.
kept on going
And
until
then,
that
like,
last minute.
Yeah, they're going to the jump gate.
Yeah, I was
And
like,
they say
why are
like,
you
oh,
flying?
the deflector shields are at 10%. I'm like, 10%? How does it still have any percent?
Yeah, after the beating they took.
I think though, well, after the what were the guns? The turbo lasers.
Yeah,
But
turbo
obviously the little twin prop, like World War II esque.
Yeah, flak
Ships.
cannons.
Yeah.
What's that?
Flak cannons.
No, I'm talking about the ships that Shin and
The
Marok
Sith
were
ships.
Oh
flying
yeah, they
around.
were like,
They were- like their guns on that must
Yeah.
have been like BB guns
Yeah.
because like they got
Exactly.
shot,
Beep, beep, beep.
but
That
they
was my
never
gripe, yeah.
inside the ship. Like if it was the original trilogy, like they would have been all like, oh, there would
Right.
have been explosions and like things breaking,
well, and then
and
that
they were
actually-
just like the bullets weren't very heavy
Yeah.
duty.
Yeah, especially after they lost their ships or lost their shields. That was my biggest gripe. It was like after they lost the shields and they were hitting the ship when Ahsoka was trying to get in real quick, and I was
There's
like,
no-
it
there was-
did
yeah.
nothing to the ship.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so
Right.
do they not need shields this whole time? I don't know. That was a little
Yeah.
silly to me. I understand in some ways it takes
also
a little
that,
bit.
that
but-
scene where they actually get through with the cannons and it like explodes.
Oh, yeah.
and then the whole screen goes white. I was like, yeah, they're dead. They're
Right.
done. There's
dead,
no way
they're
they
dead,
survive
they're
that.
dead.
Yeah. they
And then it
should.
shows it again, and it's like perfectly fine. And
yeah,
I'm like,
just like a little bit
then
of
what
debris.
was that explosion?
It was. I think it was Hu Yang over like
Yeah,
the
just
sparks
overloading
flying.
Things,
Yeah,
Okay, 'cause
wires
I
and
was
stuff
like-
dying.
which was actually a hilarious moment.
I was like,
Yeah.
he's dead. He's gone. There's
Yeah.
no way.
I thought that moment played really funny though, because
It
he's
did.
like just a little further,
Just a
please.
little
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he's like, download complete.
Yeah.
I like how they played that. That was
Yeah,
funny.
That
to
was
me.
good.
Hu Yang, man, he brings the heat.
But
Well, he
that's what I
brings
was
the
saying.
funny.
He was pushing them to the edge.
He
I mean,
was.
they were 10%.
yeah.
Those Duracell batteries were
think he's-
running out. I mean, it was dangerous.
He's
Yeah.
a Sith.
I think he's secretly a Sith trying
He's trying to kill him.
them. Yeah,
He's so sick of them.
absolutely.
Yeah, but John Pope says I thought the enemy fighters sounded really bad. It sounded like a bad '80s toy.
Yeah,
I thought they
didn't-
were having a battle. Is this too much to ask to make it sound a little more menacing?
Yeah,
But that's kind of the
agree.
point. I feel like they
kind-
kind of
Yeah.
underpowered them on purpose.
Yeah.
Because they didn't. I mean, there was 6 of them. I mean, they needed. I don't know. I guess I loved the fight. I actually loved them flying around, and it did remind me of like World War II era,
Yeah.
like
Where they framed
biplanes
it.
or
Yeah.
whatever, jets. It looked similar and scale wise, but anyway.
Or if Shin and Balin are really going to turn good, then they can't.
Once
kill
again,
them
they're
or-
trying not to destroy
I-
down to nothing, maybe. But.
Yeah, I don't know. But I agree that they felt a little underpowered, and the sounds definitely were not very menacing. It looked like World War II ships, like you said, and it also kind of crossed between like Grievous's ship. If you remember seeing Grievous's ship,
That's what I thought.
yeah,
too.
or almost like a hunter was a hunter killer droid that has that similar style with the wings on the side. At least Shin's ship.
I mean,
Had,
half
like,
the
those, like,
episode
Yeah.
was a
fuselage on the
dogfight.
outside, yeah.
Half the episode was the dogfight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It
But
was
I didn't
long.
mind it.
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. Even still, and
Something
like
different.
Shin kind of had the same face the whole time, and Merrick didn't have a face, but it was she did. I thought Shin still, for me, still did a good job acting, like staying intense through every single, even though it was basically the same shot. I don't know. I felt like she just managed to portray that energy the entire. Like she was so focused. You know, like when you're playing a video game and like you do not want to lose, like you're zoned in.
Yes.
Like nothing will
Yeah.
distract you. And that's like the face she had. She's like, I'm gonna take them down. And even when she's flying when she's flying right at Sabine, Ahsoka on the
Ahsoka,
ship
yeah.
wing and all this jazz, like she was like serious. You know, we got them. And it was well acted for not having a lot to do except sit down and fly a ship.
Right. What'd you think of the action in this one? Action, Matt?
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're
I
good.
just hit a wall and
Oh,
just
no.
everything went down.
Chat.
All
right.
Get him hyped
Um,
again. Get him hyped again. We need him.
You know, I'm not a huge fan. Well, I shouldn't say that because I like that. Anyway, I prefer like gunfights and like lightsaber fights, like on ground fights, I should say,
Yeah, you
over
Yeah.
Boots on the
space
ground.
battles. But it was
Okay.
still good. It was still solid, and I think that was the majority of the fighting.
Yeah,
I don't think
so-
there was a ton. I don't think there was any lightsaber. I mean, I guess
there was
there's
one point.
training. With
Yeah.
Sabine,
Yeah.
but
Which I do want to get into that here real quick. Starting off the episode, I thought was strong. Like,
yeah, no, I thought it was cool.
it was a solid opening, and
Oh man, yeah.
I don't know. It just put me in the right mindset right off the bat. I was like, okay, this is cool. I like this. Where they're going. I like seeing training. Something Disney Star Wars has not done in forever.
Yep.
Is showing a female character training and actually getting better at their craft, struggling as well. So
There's the word struggle.
I really liked that. There's character development going on in this episode. There's more character development, I feel like, that happened in this episode than the first two combined.
Yep.
And the way that they did it, and I like seeing Hu Yang, and he was calling out the moves and then judging her. That was a cool thing. Like judging her strikes and stuff like that. He looked kind of like Grievous, which was
I know,
funny
right?
too.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, is she supposed to hit all the sections
Yeah,
or just the ones he was pointing?
it might have been just the
Putting
specific
up.
sections, of those that she was supposed to be in. But I
Okay.
just thought that was an interesting take. I don't remember seeing that before. Was that ever shown in Clone Wars
I've never seen it.
Maybe,
or Rebels?
but
I don't remember
in
it.
passing.
I
it
don't
just-
think so.
It fits so well into Star Wars the way they
Yep.
did it, and I liked how they did that. That was excellent. And then even moving into
The callback to A New Hope.
yes, and how she trains her with
Well,
not being able to see.
If the shield's down, how am I supposed to see?
Yeah, that,
It's more than just your eyes.
yeah, that is like I like it, but I also don't like it at the same time.
Right.
I don't know. That's kind of a middle ground. What do you think of that fight though? There, Dan, for in the beginning, the start.
I loved it actually. The tie-in back to the training of her and Kanan. It kind of reminded me a little bit of that, but it also reminded me
Yeah,
obviously
she's
the
done-
Luke and Obi-Wan on the ship training. It felt right. The music was right. The moves. You can tell that the actress that Sabine is being played by is like naturally a fighter. Like it's not a stunt double. She can actually do the moves.
Yeah,
And that makes it that much more believable because Sabine can do those kinds of moves and is a good fighter in real life. So I loved that scene, and it just set the tone. Like this is the kind of training that we always want to see in Star Wars. Like we didn't get it in the sequels.
one Hondo.
We didn't get it in a lot of other shows that we've got. All of a sudden, these characters are just like way too good at something.
Right.
And in Star Wars, we've been trained to be like, we need to see Luke train and suffer and do
We need to see
bad.
progression.
Yeah, real progression. This is the kind of, you don't need a lot of it, but we need to see that she's doing it.
Yeah,
We even see Thrawn training in Rebels.
yeah.
Like he's working out, he's fighting, you know what I mean? And Thrawn's the man. So it just helps when you get this real life, like, okay, she's definitely being trained, and not just Ahsoka training her, but Ahsoka's there as the trainer, like helping her with the Force, but Hu Yang as well with the fighting. The whole 9 yards. It's awesome.
Yeah, a total.
That's 5 out of 5. That opening, they should have opened the show with that.
I know that's part of the reason I'm like, that's where they left off Rebels with them going together on the ship. I'm like, just pick it up at this episode
Yep.
when they're on the ship, going to
Absolutely.
the destination, they're training, and that would be a huge reveal in a lot of ways. You'd be like, what? But how much more
What?
satisfying is it going to be when Sabine? Because we all know it's coming.
Yeah.
Sabine is going to use the Force at some point. It's going to
At
be a
some
critical
point.
moment, or maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe she won't. But I feel like she's gonna tap into it, and it's going to be an epic moment, and it's
Right.
going to be well deserved because we've taken the time to work up to it. We've trained to get here, not just immediately good at it and can do it.
Right.
I really like it. It's almost like an underdog story in
Mm-hmm.
some ways at this point. So
What if Brimu said, what if like something bad happens to her, like sort of like Kanan, where she needs to pull from the Force to compensate?
yeah, she could be blinded like
could
Kanan.
do that.
That'd be crazy.
Maybe that's why she's training that way. Maybe she just gets stabbed. Maybe,
there?
maybe she
right.
just gets stabbed and like that makes her not strong anymore.
She's like, oh my.
Wait
other
a
kidney.
second.
Oh no, my other kidney.
They already did that.
They already
and it
did
didn't
that.
work.
They even referenced it. In
They
this
could have
I know,
like
and I
they
was like-
could have chopped off a limb or something. We just
Yeah.
talked about this.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
No,
That would
who
have been way
knows?
cooler, by the way.
Yeah.
Chopping off a limb.
Yeah, definitely.
She's
We
been
didn't-
halved.
Yeah, she gets cut in half. Oh, my
Oh,
God.
no.
Legs aren't attached anymore.
Oh, snap, crackle, poop.
I don't know for the purposes. I mean, she's talented though as a fighter though. I don't know. I feel like though maybe they could have like she could have been like doing the moves and be like ooh, like leaning down like ouch my side because she just
Yeah.
she's still
Right.
healing maybe.
Yeah, that would have
But
made
you
sense.
know,
but
Science of Bacta is it's
Powerful.
it's good, man.
Like
It's
what
good
if her and Shin fight again and Shin kicks her in the stomach right in the
Right.
exact
I'd
spot?
I'd actually like that if she
And
utilizes
she just kicks
that.
a hole right through it.
Okay, well maybe not that far.
Wait a minute.
I don't know. What how fully healed are you after like
Right.
2 days? I
She's
don't
like
know.
paper
Nah,
mache.
enough.
She's very
I
fragile.
mean, I guess with Bacta, but
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. We never saw Bacta though. You know, we just
She's
saw.
like, it's just a flesh wound.
Right. Tis but a scratch.
Name that reference. All right, yeah, no, and then I like how I still like how Hu Yang was like just brutal to her that whole time.
Yeah.
I
And the
know.
You're
fight-
the worst.
But even more important, I want to jump into this too. Ahsoka, what she says when they're fighting, I felt like Ahsoka's still off to me. I don't want to
Yeah.
necessarily go into it a whole bunch right now.
I
We'll
think
go
it's
into it a little
just-
bit later. She's still just
Her
it's like
character,
just off. It's
her character
just
isn't
off.
what it should be.
And I'll go into it a little bit more in a minute. But I really appreciated the fact that in that fight, Sabine's getting upset and she goes to anger with a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then Ahsoka just takes her out, drops her. And then she says, I really like the perfect line is anger it was anger and something is quick to give you power,
Yeah.
but it makes you unbalanced.
Yeah.
That is almost a perfect line in my opinion. That perfectly encapsulates what using the dark side of the Force is like. It quickly gives you power, but it makes you unbalanced.
Yes.
Interesting.
And she said that it was very poignant, I felt like,
Yep.
because she's also even referencing Vader. She's referencing dark side users, and she's helping her apprentice grow and understand that it's more important to be balanced than to use the Force or use strength or anger.
I mean, she saw
It was
Ezra do
super well
that.
done.
She saw Ezra go dark a little
Yep.
bit and start becoming unbalanced and doing things, making decisions that almost killed them all. It
Mm-hmm.
killed the Ghost. Wait, the Phantom
Fandom.
won.
Yeah, Fandom 1.
And you know what I'm saying? So she's like,
I know
it's
what
all
you're saying. I
too
hear you.
all too real, you know?
Yeah.
So it was a good
All
moment.
too
Good dialogue.
So yeah, are you calling out Nick, Hunter, and John Pope
What?
What?
using the dark side?
Oh yeah, I'm
The
calling
anger.
out.
Dude, we're perfectly balanced.
We're perfectly balanced.
Allie
in the
Howard's
dark.
species didn't particularly care for the training montage, so not everybody loved it.
Some people said it was a
Um,
little slow paced again, which
yeah.
is understandable in some ways for the
I thought
fact
it
that
was
episode 1 and 2. What'd you say, Matt?
Matt
So I
approved.
thought it was cool.
You thought it was cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Because
cool.
You see Ahsoka in a different way, and
Yeah.
not like a childish kid. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we've seen her a little bit in live action, but in Clone Wars you didn't see any of that, and she's a lot more grown up now.
Right.
Yeah.
She's not a kid anymore.
Do you guys want to jump? I want to jump to the Ahsoka thing right now.
Do
Let's just
it.
jump into it. Okay, Ahsoka
She's
slightly off.
off. Yeah.
The
Very
thing
much.
is, I watched a scene from Rebels with her where they go to the temple, the Jedi temple on Lothal. I just watched that after the
Uh-huh.
episode last
Uh-huh.
night, and I
Mhm.
was like,
Mhm.
okay, she's got the mannerisms.
Mannerisms?
What is it? I can't
Mannerisms.
say it. Mannerisms. Thank you. Mannerisms. She's got the mannerisms right, but
It's her attitude.
Yeah, it's the attitude, and also, well, it's still her voice. It's still her voice intonation is too deep.
Our voices.
Her voice intonation is too deep.
Yeah.
Her attitude comes across as catty instead of wise. She's acting like she's wise, but she's doing it in a way that feels like
It's cheap.
yeah. It feels more like I know better. I'm better than you. It feels more like I'm better
Cocky.
than you than it's or I know more than you than it is like
Wisdom.
introspective, or
Right.
whatever. So that is really what's bugging me about her
Yeah.
is,
I
and
would-
it's getting
I
on my
would
nerves
agree.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I felt like this episode was way better, and there was lines in this that were way better, and there was lines that were terrible. Like the thing that I really didn't like was like, I don't need her to be a Jedi. I just need her to be herself.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's like,
okay,
what?
I can
What does that
understand
even
that in
mean?
some ways, but that kind of took away from what you were just trying to
Just
like help her to
be
become.
herself.
Be yourself. Be yourself.
It was just kind of cringe in that.
But I don't want to be myself.
don't name that
Yeah.
My
reference.
snow globe collection.
What do you guys think though about Ahsoka? I just gave a hot
Pope
take. What
said,
do you
I
guys
feel like
think?
everyone in the show is the same character. I feel like they're all really quiet and stoic. I don't ever remember
Yeah.
Ahsoka or Sabine being like that.
No.
And that's
not at
kind of
all.
how I feel. I feel like there's obviously it's not going to translate directly, but there is a lot of slow, stoic, serious, quiet, not as much expansive, like, over the top,
Everybody's all angsty.
Yeah, they're
I
just a
don't
little bit
understand
angsty.
why.
That's why Hugh Yang is a nice like reprieve from some of that because he just changes up the emotional state of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he moves things forward.
But I loved actually in this one way more. Hera. Actually, she progressed a lot for me in this one.
Oh, I was gonna say she regressed for me.
Okay, so for me, she progressed. All right, we can get into that later.
She
But
was all
I feel like
right.
Ahsoka's kind of the same. Like I want to see. I mean, she looks cool when she's fighting and whatever, and she did a good job in that dialogue. It fit, but there was a couple of moments.
What I was gonna say about Ahsoka, I think what's coming through is more Rosario Dawson's just personality. And I don't think that's more what I meant. I don't think her personality is a right fit for Ahsoka. I think that's what I'm saying. She gets the mannerisms. I can't say that word. Mannerisms right, and she's playing stoic like she is in Rebels more so.
Yeah.
She's getting that mostly right, but just her personality is just more of a like catty, not catty. It's not. That's not the right word. It's more like Snips in a way, but it's more feisty. She has a feisty personality. I feel like Rosario Dawson has a little bit more of a feisty personality, and I think it's showing through in the wrong way. And that's just what I feel like is slightly off to me.
Well, Noodles said in the chat, we don't know what happened to her in the world between worlds. So
True.
maybe this is part of it, but there were sparks of her normal self. More in this episode.
She was better in this episode. I will say all that, she definitely was better in this episode. So
Yeah.
all right, we got a lot more to get into, though. Let's jump to Hera though real fast. For me, she regressed a little bit in the fact that I feel like she didn't control her temper as much as I think Hera would have in Rebels. In Rebels, Hera really knew how to, put aside her personal feelings and everything like that to get the job done. She was more just about accomplishing the mission. That's why she was a general. I mean, she gave speeches and stuff like that really inspired people. So the way that she was a little catty again to me in this felt like a little bit of a regression. It's understandable. It's not a huge minor for me. It's just it's more of a small gripe. But that's why it felt like it kind of went backwards a little bit. And maybe they're just setting up for, again, more progression of the character and arc. What about you, Dan? I know
I disagree.
You disagree? All right, that's fine.
No, I mean, I feel like she was passionate, and the passion was able to finally come through, and the stuff that she's dealt with. I feel like we haven't even seen that. We've seen it in like a quiet, stoic way from Ahsoka and Sabine, but we saw it visibly with Hera for me. And as she was expressing to us,
It's
people,
good
like, hey,
acting.
she's
I'm
like, we
not
got to
saying
get
that.
this going. We need some help. We got it. And then there's Siozo or Sozio or Sozi, whatever the guy.
Oh, it's Ziono, I think.
Jono.
Yeah, he didn't want it. It's like, you're just trying to get resources and do this and that to save your friend.
Yeah.
He's like, of course she's trying to save her friend Ezra. Everybody wants Ezra to be alive.
He was a real jerk.
But she totally called him out.
Point is,
Yeah.
she called him out, and she knows the severity. She fought. I love when she says, "I fought against Thrawn."
Yeah.
She's like, I know how serious this. You don't, if Thrawn's return is imminent, like we got to put all of our resources now. Stop dinking around. Like You guys, we got to do this thing. I lost so many friends. She lost Kanan. She's messed up now.
Yeah.
I think that broke her. She's a mom
That's a
now
good
of
point.
like a
I would-
5-year-old or however old. That would cause her to be stressed out, maybe show her emotions a little bit more. She's like, no, I'm kidding, but it's possible.
I think that's the only argument for me in why she acted the way she did. Is she's more emotionally attached than ever for the fact that Kanan died by Thrawn, and also that Ezra got taken away. Because during Rebels, she had them the whole time.
Yeah.
So that helped her be strong. And I do think the argument, even against my point, is the fact that she lost and she's more emotionally attached now than she ever was. So yeah, I agree with you there. And she acted very well. She did some of the best acting in the show, honestly.
I was impressed a little bit by her acting chops
Yeah.
compared to the first episode. I was like, all right, now we're getting some acting,
Definitely.
I appreciate that. But, it's not working for everybody.
Yeah. And but then let's jump into this. What about Jason? We saw Jason.
Yeah, we
What do you
did.
guys think of that?
I did see him.
Oh, man.
Is his hair blue or green?
Green. It was a
Green.
very
It was
dark
green.
green.
Also,
Yeah.
that's not what he looked like in Rebels.
I
He
think
did look
it's-
different. He had
He did look a little different, but he's older. He's older here.
I get
Maybe
that.
you grow out of the Leku a
Yes, I
little
know.
more.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
knew that.
Yes, I knew that. I knew that.
Maybe she made him look. Maybe she had plastic surgery for him,
Oh,
so he
no.
looked more human.
You have to be a human.
I think it's almost like the fact that he's more like his father when it comes to genetics. He's male, so he's probably taking more after his father. That he
Yeah.
has more
I like-
minor Twillick.
I think they're setting him up for future. I think that's what they're trying
Yeah.
to do. Like, we wanted a
Yeah.
cool actor. We got Keanu Reeves coming up to play, or I don't know who.
Wow, that was a leap.
Wow.
Yeah,
The dark hair, but,
good. He could.
Bismo, by the way, said, "Can we get a
What's up, Biz?
Kanan mention, please?"
I agree with that.
I
Yeah,
mean, come
what
on, the training with not being able to see, Hera mentioning the people that she lost. Specifically, she could have mentioned. They mentioned Ezra. She could have mentioned Kanan. The dad of Jason. It's like, and there was like a lot of opportunities for her to, maybe we'll get a scene quietly of her in her room with Jason and like a picture of Kanan.
I think
She's talking to him about
We didn't-
his dad.
Yeah, we didn't necessarily get a mention, but I think we saw it in her face and her eyes and the acting
Yeah.
whenever Jason said, "I want to be a Jedi. I want to be a Jedi too." And then the way she looks at him after that is like she's looking wistfully at like Kanan, like that. I think that really reminded her of Kanan in that situation.
Just like we got the mention of Satine.
oh right, yeah, they
it's a-
never mentioned.
I
yeah,
saw it in her
Satine.
eyes, but I never heard it.
Yeah, I know. They do. They definitely need to drop that.
No, but I'm just saying. I think they're like, if they throw out one more name for the new people are going to be like, who's
Yeah.
this person now?
They
Right.
might just be trying not to overload people,
Yeah.
and everybody might not know who that is
Yeah.
at this point. But what were you gonna say, fact
Well,
checker?
John Pope has a good point. I'd like to question
Pope's
Hera's
points.
Yeah, I'd like to question Hera's decision to bring her kid along on a warship and let Chopper, the war criminal, act as a
Right?
babysitter.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how Mon
times
Moth-
are tough.
Times are tough.
I like how they're so legendary that Mon Mothma, the Chancellor of the New Republic, knows that they're both getting into trouble.
Yep. Exactly.
Right. I did like seeing Mon Mothma. I loved
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Reminded me of Andor.
And
Oh,
I
Right.
liked it.
Show.
I'm like, yes, Mon Mothma
Biz.
has been through some stuff now.
Yeah.
We know from her personal life.
Mm.
And where's our main man, the art collector?
Right.
Where's the guy
Where's the guy?
Are you
from
talking-
Andor?
Oh,
What's his
yeah,
name?
Luthen.
Where's Luthen?
Yeah, I don't know if he makes it out
Yeah.
of season 2 of
Luthen
he
Rail.
sacrifices everything.
I think
except
I don't.
Chopper.
Every.
Yeah, I know. He probably
Love
does.
that monologue was amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't
stuff.
swim.
Yeah, and that whole scene though between Hera and the senators, that was like a perfect situation of showing like how ignorant senators are by just jockeying for power more than understanding
Yep.
what's really going on in the real world and how much danger there is right around the corner, and
Yeah.
they just don't want to see it because they
Gosh,
don't
they're-
care about it as much. They're
They're
more
so-
about.
They're so tone deaf.
I know, isn't it? It's irritating.
talking
They did a
about,
great
like,
job showing how
Oh,
irritating.
it was
they are.
just a isolated incident. The Imperials that she found.
yeah.
Because we have a bunch of Imperials around the galaxy, and they've all taken vows of blah blah blah. I'm like, slap her. Somebody slap her.
Somebody, I know you wanted to in some way.
It's bad. Yeah.
What you say,
It's-
fact checker? Do you
New
have something?
Republic sucks.
Oh yeah, I think Hannah and Olivia were saying earlier that it really shows the incompetence of the New Republic.
Yeah,
Which
definitely.
is
They're
sad.
definitely playing that up more and more. And what a hit it's going to be when Thrawn shows up and starts wrecking shop.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's going to be a real big eye opener for everybody.
And Mon Mothma, yeah, shouldn't she have more power to convince them?
You
I was
would
hoping
think.
that she was going to say something more.
Yeah, she seemed a little weak to me.
But
That was a
there's-
little weak, but I think the tricky thing though in this situation where
It's
they're
politics.
at is
Yep.
like she doesn't want to come across. She's playing the fine line of I don't want to be an emperor, so I have to listen to.
Well, I got
senators.
thoughts on that because I've read almost all of the second book of the Heir to the Empire.
Ooh.
Nice.
And in that book, I noticed that Mon Mothma, their people are coming at her because they're thinking that she's trying to take all the power.
Yeah.
And so she's having to play her cards just so
Mhm.
with, of course, that's with Luke and Leia and all these people, trying to play it so that she's like, make it look like she's not trying to just like all of a sudden be the next emperor because some people are half accusing her of that, right?
But
Yeah.
also,
So it kind of gave me a little bit of a backstory. It's not like canon, but maybe that's part of the reason where she's not as OP, as she should be.
Yeah. No, for sure.
but what if
Uh-oh.
she became the next emperor?
Ooh.
Plot twist.
I just want to see her shoot some lightning.
It's a Star Wars what if show.
Yeah.
That's all they need to do.
She
grabs
she's
all
a-
the power.
She's a clone of Palpatine, but in
Right.
female form.
Oh, no.
Oh,
not again.
man.
We're not doing that. All right. We got more to hear. Okay, so we got my mom. Senator Ziono is technically from what?
I don't know.
Oh, Ziono. But yeah, Jason, that was awesome. Man, we've covered a lot already. I got a bunch of
We're
notes.
pretty
here. I'm
much
trying to run
done.
through the
Wow.
notes.
Thanks, everybody, for no.
But yeah, another big drop here later on in the episode. Actually, real quick though. Wow, what is happening? Things are going. No, I'm good. Things are going
No,
crazy.
throw it again. Throw it again.
They're throwing things around here. It's getting a little crazy in the studio. What are you doing? I guess it's food on target time. Snack time. Keeps us all going here. Oh my goodness.
It does.
It's
It helps me from
devolving.
not coughing.
Oh my goodness. No, but I was gonna say they had a great line and interaction that I definitely wanted to touch upon with Ahsoka and Sabine. It was whenever she was talking, when Ahsoka was talking to Sabine about the Force, and Sabine had perfect questions. Her question was, well, because they were talking about everybody has the Force, and this is a question I was like, they're not gonna go there, and they
went
totally
there.
went there. They
ain't
were
going
like.
there.
She's like, well, if everybody has the Force, then why doesn't everybody use the
use
Force?
it?
I was like, perfect question. Yes, we've all thought that. And then Ahsoka answers it. So we actually got a question and we answered it right off the bat. It's because, talent has a factor. Some people are naturally talented in it, but it's also the fact that most people just don't develop their skills
Right.
with using the Force.
Really
Being
get
attuned
trained
to
or
it.
anything.
Absolutely.
So I love that they went there. I absolutely love that. I like that she showed how to use the Force in a small way, and we got to talk about the cup. Okay, the cup.
the cup.
The cups
was
looked
the
cool.
cup?
I will say the cups look cool, and the cup won this one.
Yep.
And that is going to definitely be a hilarious meme
it's gonna be
slash
great.
gif slash
Yeah.
short. Get ready. It's hilarious. That
Well,
one
what would the
was so
cup
funny.
say if the cup were to talk? I mean, that
Absolutely
moment.
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's not going to say anything. Don't worry.
Dan, you'll
we got it
love
all
the
figured
idea.
out. It's going to be hilarious.
It's
All
funny
right.
because I told him the idea, and he's like, "Dude, I had the exact same idea."
We talked about it even last night slightly, so it's going to be perfect.
All right,
Let's get
I'm
those
excited.
No, we
Yeah,
watched
but
the show.
we
talked about it tonight. Not important. Ah!
But Bismo did call the Force part of it.
He did, yes.
He did. He
Yeah.
called a lot of things correctly. Let's give props where props are due.
Nice.
He's got all the props. Yes, Bismo
Props to
definitely. He
you,
called that
sir.
weeks
Called
ago,
that,
man.
yeah.
He called that weeks ago. Like even before the show came out, he was saying that she was gonna have the Force.
Yeah, I think he said it on this show even. Like when we had him on a month ago, we
Yeah, I
were
think you're
talking
right.
about it. Is Sabine? We had questions. Well, we got answers.
Yeah.
I have answers that need questioning.
Skylark said Sabine is stubborn enough that the Force will bend to her will.
Oh, like a true Sith.
Oh no!
There we go.
Oh my goodness. Did you guys like those lines? I felt like those lines were great. That's like big Star Wars stuff right there. That we haven't had answers like that in a long time since George Lucas.
Yes.
And that Dave Filoni's bold enough to go there, and George has talked about that in the past. So he's actually saying what George Lucas has said about it.
Mhm.
So did you guys like that? I know
Yeah.
I did.
I liked it,
Mhm.
but also it's when you really think about it, it's like everybody can use the Force,
Right.
but it just depends on if you're talented or not.
Well, it depends
I
on
don't
your
know.
level. Like Anakin had super talent, so
Seems
he had
kinda-
no
Well,
limit.
And
Seems kind of hokey to me.
yeah,
Like Han Solo says, hokey religions and
yeah.
what else does he say? How does he say it?
Oh shoot.
Never.
They're gonna
It
let
never beats a good blaster
Blaster
at your
at your
Never
side.
back
kid.
down. Never back down.
Yeah.
Bismo said the Nick Butt classic.
But-
The Nick Black
But
classic. Yeah.
He also said even more so how the Force works. Happy they kept consistent with what George has said since the OT, and Dave has said similar. So I had full faith.
Yes. Faith
that
in
makes
Filoni.
me happiest. Yeah, more
That-
than anything else, that makes me happy.
No Filoni baloney.
That was a deliverance in faith in Filoni. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But yeah, and even how George Lucas describes the midichlorians. I know a lot of people don't like the midichlorians, but basically George describes the midichlorians as like receptors. The more receptors you have to the Force, the more powerful you are in the Force, the more you can harness it. So that's why the midichlorians made sense. Which I actually said this when we were watching the show. I was like, get her midichlorian count.
Oh my gosh.
I want to know what Sabine's midichlorian count is.
It's got to be high.
I think it's low actually because
Well,
she's not naturally talented in it.
But why would Ahsoka be training her in the Force?
Because she wants her to be herself.
Yes, I know that. I know that.
She needs an apprentice, and she's the best one. And she did use.
And she
the
needs the
darksaber.
Force to be able to beat these baddies.
Yeah.
She because she got destroyed by
Those
Shin.
baddies back.
She can't beat no Shin.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, she needs all the help
You think
she
she's
can
gonna
get.
beat her with a kick to the shin?
That would be
Kick to
amazing.
the shin. I think she's gonna unbalance her. I think she's gonna
Ha!
use.
Kick her in the shin.
She's going to use that training. I mean,
Yeah.
Sabine is the boss. I mean, once she figures stuff out, like Sabine is really, really good at whatever it is. So if she masters the Force thing, any Force ability on top of mastering the lightsaber, she's going
Yeah.
to be really formidable. She's going to be like whipping Shin around,
Shin.
whipping shins, everybody's shins.
Yeah.
She's going to go after Balin. She's going to start punching Ahsoka. She's going to be like ruling the world pretty soon.
You got something, fact checker?
Well, yeah, Bismo said her midichlorian count was probably like 4,000. For reference, Anakin was 20,000.
Wow. Okay.
So
Yeah.
she's ways to
Now
go.
we're getting sweaty with it. Biz up in here getting sweaty with it.
Biz up in her.
Appreciates you.
God, you couldn't have said that weirder.
I know I said that super
I
weird. Sorry.
appreciate you.
We did
No.
have a question earlier.
Yeah,
unless-
go.
It's kind of on a different part of the show, though.
That's fine. No,
Okay.
I was gonna jump somewhere else anyway. So.
Okay, Allie Howard said, question to panel, do you think Ahsoka was using Anakin's barrel roll or just spinning the wings on the ship?
I think it was a combination of both.
Yeah. Try spinning. That's a neat trick.
That's a neat trick.
Yeah.
I feel like she's like, I feel like I've heard this somewhere before.
Right.
As she's doing it.
Is that what you would do, Matt, if you were in a ship? Would you just constantly be spinning
In every direction
in every
possible.
direction possible?
No,
You're not
probably
even flying straight?
Doesn't seem very convenient.
Well, Vades is
I don't wanna be
definitely
thrown
offended
up.
by that.
Yeah.
He's
He
very
shows-
offended you said
He's
that.
taking an offensive posture.
Try spinning. That's a neat trick. He said that.
He said that. That was him. That was him.
Sorry, Matt. Continue.
No, that's all I had to
What'd you
say.
say, man?
That's all I'm saying.
That's all I had to say.
Matt, Muscle Matt has turned into Flat Matt.
Yeah.
Well, Hunter said he'd be in a broke down Ford ship.
Oh, 100 days. Calling me out. What's the equivalent? No, we're not going there.
Yeah.
All right.
We could,
The
though.
muscles to push it.
He's got his muscles to push it. Yeah, for sure.
Just kidding.
That's how he got his
My
muscles.
muscles
Oh,
to
no.
push
Pushing
it.
his
Now I'm
car.
joining
Oh,
him.
no.
Oh, no.
yeah.
This is divulging.
Good.
Truck's on
Dang.
target, am I right?
Dang, son.
Oh, man.
Matt feels
Okay.
attacked.
But I forget what the question was. Did we cover it?
I think we covered it. Yeah, Allie Howard species basically was
Yeah, talking about the rolling, the
Yeah.
flipping on
Okay.
the,
We
the
did.
ship.
Okay,
Yep.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for keeping me on target. I did also want to say the relationship between Ahsoka and Sabine. There was some character development there for the fact that Sabine was like, I don't need a lesson right now. And that they learned how to trust each other more. And Ahsoka just wasn't taking control of everything. I actually did. It was a little forced, but I at least liked what they were going for there, and that they trusted each other enough to be like master and apprentice.
Right, she
Kinda
was
like
letting
what
her-
Anakin and Ahsoka did.
tell her dive, go forward, turn left, that sort of thing. It was a good combo.
Left.
Yeah, I like that character development.
Yeah,
we
no,
need character
100%.
development.
It
Do
was-
not pass go. All right, we also got
very good.
another big old drop in this one.
We do?
Another reveal. It was say it, Nick. Do you know what I'm going to say?
No.
The Purgle, man.
Oh,
the space whales.
Spacey
First time we've
whales.
actually seen them
Those
live
things.
action.
I mean, were they live action though?
Well,
They're CGI, Dustin.
Who was the space whale wrangler for this episode? That's all I want to know.
Who gets
Who
paid the big
got 'em?
bucks?
No space
That's what I
whales
wanna
were
know.
harmed in the making.
Who's the space whale shepherd?
Yeah. What's a
Flush.
What's a flock of Purgle called?
Per guy.
Per guy.
A galaxy. A galaxy of Purgle.
A galaxy.
Oh no, he's dying.
Got him.
It was
Got
good
me. Matt, you got me.
animation or CGI or all of it.
All of the above.
It-
Yes.
Yeah, it looked really
Good
It was
good.
ships
probably
and all of
actual
that.
whales.
Cinematography. That was the word.
Cinematography.
Yeah.
Cinematography was on
You got
point. And it looked solid. I liked seeing them. I liked the emotional reaction that Ahsoka and Sabine had
Yeah.
to seeing
They're
them.
like, oh,
Yeah.
the Purgle.
They didn't go over the top with it,
Yeah.
but I like the fact that they were like, I haven't seen it since Ezra, so
Ezra
it was a good
disappeared.
sign to them
Yeah.
and for all the Rebels fans out there. And even there was a moment though when Marok looked over. What was he looking over at Shin or was he looking at the Purgle? I need to know the answer to this question.
Yeah.
Purgle.
Interested in the Purgle?
What do you guys think?
Or was
Everybody
he
in the
like,
chat.
What are we doing?
I think they're messing with us. I think they're like, it's Ezra because he's like looking at the Purgle and he's like,
my space
if he's brainwashed and then all of a sudden like he's starting to come out of it, he's like,
right.
space whale.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Space whale.
We did a short on space whales during Mando.
We did.
Did we?
Yeah.
I have no memory of this.
That's because
'Cause-
you're Ezra.
Because
I am space whales.
Grogu, like even on our intro
Oh,
video,
yeah, yeah,
Grogu
yeah,
saw them in the hyper jump.
Yeah.
So he was hinting at it. Filoni
Yeah.
was hinting at it all the way back then.
Yeah, he was.
Little did actually all the way back to Rebels when
He
we
was
had
making
no idea.
connections, man.
Yep.
Connections. Connecting the dots.
Oh gracious!
There's a lot of dots to connect.
Shy Cacti jumped in. John
What's up?
Popey totally looks like
Hello.
Pat McAfee. Speaking of Matt,
No, but then Hunter said, "Don't
Thank you.
be disrespecting." Pat
Yeah,
McAfee."
Hunter.
Hannah says Merrick is not Ezra, so no, people don't want him to be Ezra.
Yeah, I don't think it is actually. at this point.
Probably
It's
not.
Star Killer.
It's Star Killer.
Galen Merrick.
It's Galen Merrick. Come on.
Rock.
Who's with us?
Sam Whitwer,
Sam
Dwayne
Whitwer.
the
I just want
Rock
to see
Johnson.
It's Dwayne.
Dwayne.
Dwayne the Maroc Johnson.
He takes off the
Oh
mask
my
and then his character just explodes with
expands.
muscle.
Yeah.
yeah.
And Kevin Hart's there somehow.
Bree Muse said,
Kevin
Kevin
Hart's
Hart's
helmet.
his child.
Is this Grogu? Oh my goodness.
Bree
That's
Muse
great.
said she thinks that he was just astonished at the Purgle. Ezra has seen them; he wouldn't be shocked enough to get distracted,
Yeah.
unless he had brainwashed and he was trying to come out of it. You know,
Yeah.
like you
Could've-
see that kind of trope. But
He-
I don't know.
He could have been looking over at Shin. That was the other option. He might have been looking over
Yeah.
at Shin.
He was wanting to say "as you wish" again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as you wish. As you wish.
He only has two
what
lines.
An interesting line that they chose that
you
line
wish.
to be like the first that we hear of him. Was
There's,
as
gonna,
you wish.
Exactly.
there's definitely going to be memes.
Oh,
made.
Yeah.
definitely. We're gonna make those
Definitely.
memes.
We
and
could. We could be
shorts.
one of the first ones.
Marriage. is What
Marriage.
brings us together
Marriage.
today. As you wish. As he's like flying to his death.
You whip. Oh boy.
Yes.
Do you think Merrick's going to die in this season?
I'm nervous.
I'm nervous.
I feel like if it's
I'm
gonna happen,
nervous.
it's gonna happen in this
I'm
next.
Nick.
Because there's only
Dad jokes. I'm not a father.
nervous Nick.
Nervous Nick.
You're a nervous Nelly Nick.
I'm a nervous wreck most of the time.
Pregnant pause.
Pregnant pause.
Catchphrase. What's your catchphrase?
Oh, no.
What is it?
Back to then.
Yeah. Catchphrase on target.
Ooh.
No, but back to the. Did you have one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Back to. I love the fact that in this though. Oh wait, no, I was gonna go into Marok. Marok. All right, there's only really two ways, and I feel like in the next episode that this can go. Okay,
He's
Okay.
gonna die.
they're gonna either he's
he's
got to
gonna
be killed
die.
off because think about this. We've seen him fight Ahsoka, so does either she kills Balin, and we've seen her Ahsoka fight Balin, so we've seen both. So.
But have we seen Balin fight Ahsoka?
Yes. So who does she fight first is my question, and who does she fight last? So if she fights Marok, either it's revealed that Marok is a character that she cares enough about not to kill,
Oh yeah.
and then she goes and fights Balin, or she fights Balin and kills Balin, and then goes and fights Marok. Which way do you think it's going to play?
Do you think they're going to kill Balin?
I hope not. They better.
I
not
don't
right
think
off the
so.
bat.
You're right, because now we know
Or-
that they fights both of them, or she fights both on that same planet, and this is all building.
What if she bests him and he lets her leave
Oh,
and
yeah.
she doesn't kill him off?
Yeah. What if he joins her in some ways in her fight?
Right?
What if
do that.
he gets stabbed and he just lays there?
Yeah, and he lives because nobody dies from stabs anymore.
Or she chops off a limb.
The best neutralizer, just a stab.
She chops off his head and he still lives. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know. It's just an interesting point to think about though, because
Yeah,
in the trailer
I don't know how
we've
that's
seen
gonna
them
play out. Yeah.
See, I
seen
feel
her
like
fight
he's.
both.
I feel like he's not actually Sith.
No.
I think he's got ulterior motives.
You think Merrick has
Yeah.
ulterior motives?
No, Balin.
Yeah, Balin. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I think
Because even Shin. Even she doesn't seem full dark.
yeah.
I
Like-
think if Balin has ulterior motives and Filoni wants him around for a while, as sad as it would be, he's going to recast.
He's got to.
Yeah.
He's not going to change his story
Or
to.
at least they just kill him off and stick with Shin.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to change the whole story unless it's like flexible. But if he's a big character that like is going to play really heavily into this, you know.
Yeah.
But I think
Or
he was
maybe they
supposed
could
to.
do the deep fake.
They could, yeah,
stuff.
they could. That's true.
Yeah. Would you actually want that though? The Uncanny Valley again?
No, I'm just saying that's probably what they would do. You know.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. Balin
Yeah.
turns good. Shin attacks him, says KG.
Yeah.
Oh, Shin attacks.
And Merrick.
Oh man.
So now it's Balin versus Merrick versus Sabine.
But we already got Sabine and Shin fighting again.
Yeah.
And we got
You have
Ahsoka.
no power.
Yeah, and I feel like that's going to be the moment where
Really?
she actually gets her.
I mean, we would be halfway through the season.
I feel like that's when she's going to.
That's going to be the halfway mid-season
finale.
Cut, yeah.
Next week is the mid-season finale,
And
Dave
Balin and-
does do that.
Balin and Ahsoka are going to be dueling, and they're going to be like, and Balin's going to say something, be like, "Let's get out of here," and like he's going to leave with her,
Yeah.
or they're going to maybe she's going to best him, or something's going to happen
Let's
where they
be
just leave together.
friends.
Yeah.
Well, and the other
Why
thing,
can't we be friends?
I don't
we
know.
can be friends, Matt.
It's actually Balin doesn't want to fight at all. He's actually making a nice dinner for herself.
It's like,
Please
let's
sit
talk.
down.
Yeah, he's like cooking.
He's like-
Another
Pulls out her
scene.
lightsabers. Oh, okay. I guess we're going to this then.
Have you ever heard the tragedy of food on target?
Food on target.
Another scene from The Princess Bride, right, where he sits
Yeah.
down and he makes like the bet with the
Yeah,
iocane
the
powder
poison
drink.
powder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
He's
that
bluffing.
scene.
She
have a
walks up. She
conversation.
says,
Truly, you have a dizzying intellect.
Yes.
"He's bluffing." Are you bluffing?
I don't know. Hannah does not. Hannah wants Merrick to die.
Why?
Wow, she does not like
No,
Marok.
nope.
Hannah is taking a dislike to this show, and I'm not 100% sure. We might have to get her thoughts on that.
And she
here
said,
soon.
if Balin dies, it'll be Morgan's betrayal.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah, there's
something's
definitely-
going to
That,
happen.
yeah.
Well, Shin and her definitely had some like,
Oh,
good, congratulations, you
You almost
you
got
almost
him.
got. It was like
Yeah,
there's
they don't
definitely
get
some
along very well.
Cattiness
Which
between
is
them.
Yeah.
good.
What is
I
it with you and cats
I
lately?
just like.
Well, and
cats.
who's
No, I
paying-
really
Uncanny
don't,
Valley.
actually.
I was
It's
gonna
not
Who's
say,
bad.
actually
that.
paying Balin and Shin, and for how long does this thing hold up? How long until they they're done with this deal? Remember when he saved her off the ship.
Yeah.
He's like, well, it's good money. We're getting paid good money for this, So it's like, when does that deal run out?
Yeah,
It's
right.
if it's just for money, I mean, eventually you'd be like, I don't want the money. Oh, I'm taking my
want the
morals and I'm going with Ahsoka.
Yeah.
If-
Well, he does want power, though.
Yeah, he does.
because he said
He
for,
said
for
that.
us,
Yeah.
power beyond.
But he also made the comment that, oh, it'd be
Ooh.
such a pity if I killed her. So
Right.
few Jedi remain.
Yeah.
yeah, so he might let her live.
Maybe
Yeah.
that sounds sarcastic.
Everybody's hashtag saving Marok.
Save
Save Marok.
Merrick. Why would you say that name?
Batman v Superman. Right?
Yep.
That's good.
Oh, wow.
Dude, they're supposed
I
to guess
know.
it.
I'm sorry. I ruined. Yes.
I mean,
This is what I have to deal with on a daily basis.
I'm just saying
This is what
overall
you were
in this
sick of.
episode, what
Build
an
myself up.
amazing
He's cutting me
episode.
down.
What an amazing episode. Unfortunately, we wanted a little bit of that fight. I think we wanted the fight at the end of the episode. We didn't want it to end as him landing and just kind of waiting and then go find them in the woods. We wanted the fight to start and maybe hang there or something to happen. We're like, oh, it's over? Like, that's it. There's only 10 seconds left. We're like, seriously. But it was good. I think that for me was why it was so good, because it just, the pacing just took us right to the end of the episode. I was like, oh, that's good, because it makes me want to watch the next one like right now. Yeah. Especially since we know half the scenes from the trailer.
Yep.
So now we know the trailer was up to episode 4.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Actually, and beyond, at least. Well,
maybe
we haven't
depending on what happens in the episode.
Well,
do we see Thrawn? We got to see Thrawn's.
I think we're gonna. I think we might see Thrawn episode 5, beginning of episode 5, maybe end of episode 4.
I think he's gonna be at the last episode.
You think in the very last episode?
Yeah, because they're gonna
drag this on that long.
How long does it take to install the 7th thing?
The 7th hyperdrive is being installed.
It's being installed right now.
What's going on?
Yeah, but it still takes a while. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is all of our other shows are case in point to why it would take so long.
Oh,
yeah.
If they follow that trajectory.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But this is faith in Filoni. He's going to deliver. He's
is
already
true.
delivered more than I thought he was going to in this episode alone.
Yes.
Maybe not more than I thought he would, but more than every
He
other
just
show that's
called off so much of George Lucas's stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think he's collaborating with George on
it. It was as close as George Lucas like telling these lines.
Dude, the
like
end
a direct
of this
quotes.
show, by the end of this show, George Lucas will be in power again.
Oh,
that would be great.
That would be such an amazing announcement. I would be so happy.
Maybe George Lucas is waiting with Thrawn in the other galaxy.
Right? It's actually not. It's actually not Thrawn. It's just George Lucas.
That's the first person we see when they get to the new galaxy. That's who's training Ezra.
Oh my gosh.
He's like faster, more intense.
Right. Why did he sound like a robot?
I don't know. I don't do a very good George
intense.
impersonation. But it makes sense.
Yeah, episode 5 says Bismo's going to blow our brains. End of episode 4, sometime episode 5 says Thrawn. Says Bismo.
Saying Thrawn.
End
Says
of 5.
Bismo?
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't like Nick's take of the very end.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
But
they're going to show up.
He didn't like it?
He wants him to come at like
He
4 or
doesn't
5.
like you, Nick.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't like it either, but it would be something that would pull.
Yeah.
Be
could
like,
be.
oh, there he is. It's like,
The Thrawn
took you
MacGuffin.
so long.
The Thrawn Guffin.
Thrawn, where have you been?
Yeah, speaking of getting to Thrawn, though, I like the fact that it's 7 hyperdrives that are going in that. And then at the very end of the episode, and I feel like there's more to this, and I haven't really fully developed theory on this, but there's 7 lines crossing that are coming to Peridia, the last planet, to find Thrawn. And I'm wondering if that means 7 main characters are going there, or what paths are crossing to meet at this place. It's an interesting theory I'm still developing here, but with the 7, there's 7s, a lot more 7s than I'm realizing in this show.
So
But,
Dinbo's back.
What?
Dinbo's back.
Dinbo's back, baby.
Dinbo's back.
They're showing up.
Dinbo confirmed.
They're in Peridia. They're like, took you guys long enough.
Yeah, right.
And there was somebody in the chat earlier that mentioned the armor. Do we know what that was about?
Yeah, Lazar. I'm not sure what
Lazar,
that was.
yeah.
So,
Huzzah,
come
Lazar.
again, let
Laza,
us
wasn't
know.
it? Yeah, curious.
But there was some chat or talk in the chat about Mulan, which led into
Mulan?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Mulan!
hang in there, which led to Eddie Murphy, and then John Pope said, "By the way, bring Eddie Murphy into Star Wars," and then Hunter said he'd be a good Hondo.
Wow.
So
Wow.
full circle.
That was an amazing
That would
rabbit
be-
hole
yeah.
that the
The
chat
chat just
went in.
took
I
us
missed
through.
so much with the
Right?
chat. I love watching it back later just for the chat. You guys are on fire out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although he would make a good Hondo, but I really want the original guy to play Hondo.
Yeah, I don't even know what the guy's
I forget his
is.
name, but he is absolutely
He's a voice
hilarious.
actor.
One Hondo.
Oh man.
But yeah, I was gonna say though, also they're building that hyperspace ring, the Eye of Sion. They're building it that large, and they even reference it in this episode. They're building it that large because they're going to get Thrawn and they're going to get the Chimera. The Chimera is going to hook into that ring, and they're going to bring back the Chimera with Thrawn in that hyperspace ring because that's the only one that can travel through galaxies. So I think that is why they built it so big.
And they
so that
really
could
want
attach
Thrawn to
it.
come back to this galaxy. That they really do, to
Right.
take back over the Empire and use the Empire for whatever it is that Thrawn needs it for, to fight off whatever other force might be in the other galaxy.
Yeah, And
Why don't they just go to the other galaxy and hang out there? That's probably
Well, I think there's going to be bigger, like worse foes
Bigger
in
other-
that galaxy.
There's always
Yeah.
a bigger fish.
Oh,
it's
so
always
this
a big-
Yeah.
so this
Qui-Gon
galaxy
shows up.
Yep.
this galaxy's like vacation for Thrawn. It's so easy to like just win and beat people,
Well, yeah, he's blue.
except for Ezra when he ran
Color.
into.
The color blue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Bring Back Hondo is now trending, but
Bring
I
back
guess Jim
Hondo.
Cummings is the voice actor.
Jim
What's
Jim
who?
Cummings.
Jim Cummings.
Jim Cummings, man. Yeah, he does such a
That would be
He-
so
He's
cool.
done
Hilarious.
so much voice acting.
Yeah,
it's
he has.
unreal.
I would love to
Unreal.
see Hondo. That would be
Unreal.
so good. The problem is like if you throw pirates in, now people are gonna be like, it could look cheesy, you know. I don't know.
Dude, if it's just Hondo,
But if it's his
I
voice-
wouldn't be upset.
I wouldn't either.
Dude,
I
Because
would
he
love to
was
see
in-
him.
He was in Rebels, just him.
I know with Ezra.
Yeah.
So they
Maybe
could do
he's
it
with
that way.
Ezra right now.
I'd be happy with that.
They need to bring in Hondo at some point. If they do not, huge missed opportunity.
Huge.
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 But yeah, again, I think fantastic episode. We didn't even touch upon the flying in space with Ahsoka. We liked it.
Yeah, we did a little bit.
We did a little
we
bit.
did.
Yeah, it was a pro and a con in some ways, but I liked it because it felt like Clone Wars Rebels. Sorry, I'm just kind of going over
Yeah.
my notes here. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up our spoiler section. Unless you guys got anything else.
Nada.
Nothing.
Solid episode.
Solid.
Ahsoka soars, man. That's the title of this video,
Nice.
and it is
5
true
Wookiee
in this.
cookies.
It's
5 Wookiee cookies.
close to 5 there, fact
Nick's
checker.
eye roll.
Stop talking.
Dan, mute her mic.
But,
Get her,
yeah,
Mike. Get her out of
No.
here.
it sounds
Being
like
canned.
Protect the fact
candy.
checker.
Yeah.
if you candy.
Thus the canning.
The
Oh,
canning.
God.
You canned the candy?
I canned the canner.
Can you can candy?
Ooh.
But yeah, fantastic episode. Really
Yes.
enjoyed it. This is why we had faith in Filoni, okay? And he's delivering. For me right now, he is delivering.
Yes.
And I just feel like it's going to get better from here if he continues on this trajectory.
Yep.
I think it's just going to get better, and we might get some 5 out of 5s even from the Sith Lord Nick. I think by the end of the season we might.
Perhaps.
Yeah, but let us know your thoughts. Still, if you're watching this back later, give us a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments below what you guys thought. We want to hear from all of you, and we want to know what you guys thought about this episode because it's just fun speculating and talking about.
Fun speculating.
It's fun speculating.